This traffic jam has been here for more than 2 hours. It's probably 10 kilometers according to the map. 看一看，给你们看一看壮观的堵车场面。
But at least you have a cow as a neighbor.
Yes. 飞过去看那边有好几公里，比这边还要远。我们现在可能1/3都不到。Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel Season 2 Unseen China. So yesterday we've reached Xiahe County and we stayed in a very nice hostel. I haven't been in a hostel for quite a while, and this hostel is run by a very friendly Tibetan family. So I want to show you our hostel first. It's a typical Tibetan house. Look at that. And at one corner, this one, it's a very nice traditional cupboard, and here there are some Tibetan traditional dress. Tibetans also live outside Tibetan autonomous region, so for many foreigners probably you're not very familiar with this, but there are 10 Tibetan autonomous prefecture in other provinces. So this is a map. This is Tibet, and those Tibetan prefecture are in Qinghai Province, Gansu Province, Sichuan Province, especially this part, and some part of Yunnan Province. This is our Tibetan breakfast. It's my first time trying suyo cha. There is some butter.
Yep, and some sugar
Butter drink. And this is dried cheese nai zha. It's very hard. And she already put some of them in the suyo cha, so at the bottom there are some dried cheese. And in the basket we've got two kinds of bread. One is the dough that is simply fried, and the other one is, I guess it's made of chinko because the color is different. This morning was quiet. The family cleaned the rooms and burned a cypress. The manager even asked Flo to teach her daughter some English.
She must appear in a bright red dress and long black stockings. Last year, in another play, she had to wear short socks and a bright orange-colored dress. If anyone asks her how old she is, she always answers, "Darling, it must be terrible to be grown up." So if you're coming to Xiahe, remember this lovely hostel, the Sangchu Marmots use hostel. Bye. Yeah. So before leaving the hostel, Flo gave an English lesson. Yeah, just by the way, I'm not an English teacher, but yeah, and she was so lovely. Like, the whole personnel in this hostel was really lovely.
Yeah,
it's maybe not the best hostel in terms of facilities, but really, if you come here, try it out, because just because of the people there, it was really amazing.
In Xiahe, there is Labrang Monastery. It's one of the 6 greatest monasteries in Tibetan Buddhism. The Golok sect, it's one sect of Tibetan Buddhism, and it's also home to the largest number of monks outside Tibetan autonomous region, and this monastery is pretty big. There are different schools. There is a school of philosophy, school of medicine, and there is also the longest Zhuanjinglu prayer wheel corridor in the world. So if you walk around it, a whole circle takes almost 3 kilometers. And for Tibetans, they do this almost every day. This is the biggest monastery I have visited. We've been walking around for almost 20 minutes, but still we're just in the middle. So look. And there are many main buildings. Most of them don't allow photo taking inside because it's a religious place.
The average altitude of Gannan is more than 3,000 meters. The winter is long and cold, but in summer the grass grows and the water is abundant. Not far from Xiahe, the traffic slowed down.
Now we are having a very bad traffic jam. It's probably 10 kilometers according to the map. I'm going to see my neighbor. It's a cow. On the other side, the car is moving very slowly. 大哥，这是您的牛吗？
装车了。
大哥，你去哪儿呀？
啊？
你去哪儿？
朗姆寺。
啊，我们也去朗姆寺。
今天装车了。这牛老重了，这是2万。老重现在27、8。27、8。单斤啊？那么便宜啊？今天便宜，今天跟羊价差不多了，应该是种牛。
哦，当种牛。
牦牛里面去放的。
为什么要把它放到牦牛里面呀？
跟牦牛杂交嘛，杂交出来的品种。
啊，但它是个奶牛是吧？
奶牛。
哇，好大一只哦。The reason is there are 2 big trucks. They crashed, so this traffic jam has been here for more than 2 hours, according to the chat on the internet. 看一看，给你们看一看壮观的堵车场面。
But at least you have a cow as a neighbor.
Yes. Hey, come here, yaks.
Oh, yaks! Wow.
So, another passenger, yaks, 牦牛. They have longer fur. Look at the horn. 你好，师傅，这个牦牛运哪儿去啊？啊？成都是吧？哇，一头牦牛大概多少钱？现在能卖？
2万左右啊。今年价格是还可以还是不行？还是下来了？哦，涨了可真好啊。So each yak costs 20,000, more than 20,000. More. This is someone who is traveling through National Highway 318. Look how many people are waiting.
The good news was that there seemed no casualty, but it took forever to remove the damaged tracks. We are still queuing, and many people came out to stretch themselves. It was so boring that I sent my drone to check the situation.
They are fed up with the traffic jam, I guess.
Some people even set up the tent.
Yep, and they're camping now next to the road. That's insane.
Eventually, we reached our hotel before 11, almost at 11 p.m.
Yeah, so we were quite lucky. I thought it would be 3 a.m.
And we're quite lucky that eventually we got a room.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So see you tomorrow.
Langmusi is a confusing name. It means Labrang Monastery, but it's also the name of the town shared by Gansu and Sichuan Provinces. In this town, there are 2 Tibetan monasteries, Ge'erdi and Sichuan. Both are called Labrang Monastery. The main population is Tibetan, yet in between the 2 monasteries is the Hui community and another mosque called Langmu Mosque.
Just delay.
So guys, this is Langmusi that we finally reached after our 5 hours traffic jam of yesterday. And it's actually quite a beautiful place because it literally looks like Switzerland. And the Chinese also call it Little Switzerland. They have plenty of Little Switzerland within their country. And the only difference is basically you have these Tibetan elements, you have the Buddhist temples, and lots of Chinese tourists, and some nice music in the background. But besides that, the landscape is really, really stunning.
This is a call for prayer. Finally, we find a place which is at the corner and it's relatively quiet. And if you look at the map of Langmusi town, it's actually quite interesting. So there are two parts of Langmusi. There are two different monasteries. One is over there on that mountain, that's in Gansu Province. And the other one here, this one, Langmusi, that's in Sichuan Province. And in the middle here, it's a big mosque. And in fact, there is a huge Hui people community, the Muslim community here. There is a pretty interesting bakery, and I guess this is also Hui people's bakery. So this is qiancangbi, like layered cake with rose flavor. And there are some other pancakes, some with common, some are salty. The shop owner is so busy.
可以给我1件钱小的。
切从这儿切一点行吗？切一小的一角。啊？再少一点点吧。嗯，可以。
That's 小。
这是小。
哇。
打麦呢？
这是多少钱
？17斤，我称一下。
啊好。
10块钱。This is what we've got. 千层玫瑰饼 layered rose cake. There are some rose jam in it, and also some sesame.
How do you like it?
让我再尝一口，没有尝出味道来。
Let me try.
There is indeed a rose flavor.
Not too bad.
Not too bad, but not the best cake in the world. We are not really the expert in Tibetan Buddhism, but still we find some of the elements in this temple quite interesting. So if you are Tibetan, perhaps you can explain this better than I do, but I know that this white sea snail is quite a holy item in Tibetan Buddhism.
And then you have the elephant element, which refers to the god Ganesha, I think, in Hinduism as well. But also I think it's quite important in Tibetan Buddhism, especially around Mount Kailash, if I'm not wrong. And you have this element here as well.
Yeah, and there are some very traditional Chinese elements. This one, and I suspect this is Taishan Laojing because there are peaches, there is xianhe, and there are deers, xianlu.
It's actually quite interesting, because now I'm basically walking on the borderline of Gansu and Sichuan Province. And Qinghai Province is also not far away. In the 7th century, this was all claimed by the Tibetan Empire. The Tibetan Empire stretched from Central Asia, what today is Tajikistan, up to the border of northern Pakistan, the Karakoram Range, up to northeast India, and up north to Lanzhou, where the Chilean mountains emerge. This area was all the Tibetan Empire. And if you look now on a map, you find that in all those provinces today, you still have a huge amount of Tibetan settlements, the Tibetan prefectures, autonomous prefectures, which are far outside of the autonomous region of Tibet today. And this also shows why you see so many Tibetan monasteries around this area. In Qinghai, Gansu and Sichuan Province, after all.
What I also want to say is that geographically the Tibetan population can be divided into 3 main parts. So those who are living on the nowadays Tibetan autonomous region are called Weizang, and those who are living in Sichuan, western Sichuan and northwestern Yunnan are called Kangba Zangzu, whereas the rest, those who are living here, who are living in Qinghai Province and Gansu Province, they are called Anduo Zangzu. So those 3 branches, they share a lot of culture together because they are all Tibetans. However, there are differences when it comes to spoken language, when it comes to the way they dress, when it comes to religion, etc.
What we saw yesterday? Banana?
你好，
你好，请问这个是什么车呀？
这是意大利的，对不对？
贝纳利。
好好好，你去从哪？你是什么地方？
我们去若尔盖。
啊，你们去若尔盖，我们也去若尔盖。
那一树木嘛。
对。
哇，
你们去哪里？
若尔盖，对。
对。
但是有可能下午会到那个黄河第一湾唐克那边。哇，你还有个这个360。
哇，很好。
做此纪念。
真喜欢。
你们从哪来的呀？
我们从西安那边。
啊，就一路骑过来的。哇塞！
从西安回到宝鸡。
几个天？从西安在这儿几个天吗
？3天。
3天，好。
你汉语说的很棒。
嗯，马马虎虎。
很棒很棒。
跟让你姐姐。那你喜欢你的摩托车？好骑吗？
啊，
这个摩托车好骑吗？
很难驾驭的。
我个子太低，你肯定好骑
啊。对，我在欧洲也有摩托车，但是我不有这个，我有这个飞什么。
他有一个飞霜，他也很喜欢骑摩托车。
对对对。
嗯，所以他看见了就觉得很亲切。
都是摩友。
摩友，对，都是摩友。
摩友是
摩友 Motorbike Friends。
啊，对对。
都是摩友。那要去。接下来走了是吧？
若尔盖。
好，行，
再见，
拜拜，一路顺利，拜拜。It's very cool。
好，拜拜，
好，
拜拜拜拜。
So this is the end of our today's video, and I hope you really enjoyed this journey in Gannan Tibetan Prefecture, although it's only a small part.
Yep. So if you like the video, please give us thumbs up.
Thanks for watching, and see you next time.